Hi folks, my name is Chris from Chris Creations, and today I'll be showing y'all how to do a vehicle convert from GTA 4 to GTA 5. This is not GTA San Andreas to GTA 5, this is not GTA 3 to GTA 5, this is GTA 4 to GTA 5. Let me just get this out of the way now. No, I will not convert a vehicle for you, so please do not ask me. I may make an exception to this if it's a popular vehicle that people want, then maybe. But if you want me to convert some like Hyper Lycan or something, no. Use this tutorial and do it yourself. In this tutorial, I'm basically going to be showing you where you can find vehicles, how to convert them, get them in game, and yeah. Okay. So the website that I recommend you use to find GTA 4 vehicles is a website called GTA Inside. This website has over 86,000 mods over 5 different games. So, and 86,000, of course, it's like scripts, maps, players, pets, and whatnot. But it has over 86,000 mods for over 5 different games. So when you get here, you should should be the first page that you get to. Go to filter GTA 4. Press the little drop-down arrows here. Go to cars, and then you have all your cars here. I already have a car picked out that I'm converting for a friend, but you can go through these and whatnot, and find your car and everything. Now, I'm just going to say this now, that when you convert a vehicle, don't expect to convert a vehicle and then immediately release it, because people don't like that. So many times, the authors of these cars will have their emails like here or here. Sometimes it may say their website here. So email them before you release something. Alright, I'm going to put that in the description of this video as well. Ask for permission before releasing, because developers don't like that. Just ask for permission, and they'll most likely say yes, because, yeah. But, yeah, so I'm going to be converting a Dodge Caravan SXT 2008 for a friend. So, for this, you need ZModeler2, which is even more broken than ZModeler 3, but, yeah, I'll leave a link to it down in the description. Just go and launch it up. Press File, Import, find the file for it. So in my case, since I've already actually saved it before, it's already here. Now sometimes it may say in the comments or right about here that the file is locked. If you have permission from the author to unlock it, there are ways to unlock it. If you don't, I don't recommend unlocking it. But it's up to you if you really want to. I've noticed that there's kind of like a time difference between when vehicles started to begin getting locked and when vehicles started to, vehicles weren't locked. Now this one's in that period where like vehicles seem never to be locked, but yeah. But once you press on it, go and press import. Now GTA 4 uses a WFT format, kind of like the YFT, but it's just for GTA 4. As you see here, there's no textures, that's fine. Go to press file again, press save as, and just find wherever you want to, and just slam your head against your keyboard, I guess, and just save it. That's all you need ZModeler2 for, just to do the WFT to ZDV conversion. You can probably, I think you can do a WFT to OBJ or day conversion in 3DS using certain scripts, or plugins, I'm sorry, for 3DS. I'm not aware of them, plus I don't have 3DS Max, so yeah. And yeah, going to open up ZModeler 3 and go ahead and merge it in. Of course, find it. Now, one thing that you will notice about it, that it doesn't have any information. That's fine, it's supposed to be like that. If it has information, something's wrong. But there shouldn't be anything here. Go and press merge. You're going to get these errors, that's fine. Once you're here, go and press all. Press merge. Then you got it in here. Now, a lot of the models that were made for GTA 4 were of course converted from other games. So in this case, this Dodge Caravan, if I remember correctly, was converted from Driver San Francisco. Now Driver San Francisco models are not the best. They're not good. Because this van is a solid, I want to say 17,000 polys? 27,000. Which is not good. So if you have a look at the interior, you can see that there's not a lot of dials and whatnot. Not a lot of interior stuff. There's no door panels and whatnot, so it's not exactly the best, but it was GTA 4. It was good at the time. So what you're gonna want to start is go and open this up, and just go and open this up. Notice that it says chassis, chassis LO, chassis L1. This is because, of course, the vehicle is un-LOD'd because it was imported from GTA 4. So you go ahead and turn everything off. Go and just open everything up by just pressing the chassis and then holding down your right arrow. And that will send you down the hierarchy, open everything up. Now right now, I suggest you select all of your collisions. You're just going to select them like this. Just do all of them like this. Just going to get these out of the way. Don't do the wheel collisions. We'll get to those in a few minutes here after we're done LOing. There we are. Just going to select those, press collision, and convert to compound. Now, you won't be keeping these collisions. They're just there, so when you press show all and everything, the collisions don't show up. You can also delete your wheel collisions. As I said, you don't need them because we're going to be redoing them. Oh, I missed something. Whew, what is that collision? As I said, we're going to be redoing these collisions. Where's the... There we are. Oh. Yeah, we're going to be redoing these collisions. Yeah, there we are. Now you'll notice that it does have the scripting elements. So it does have like the overheat stuff. I believe if you look at down here, yeah, like there's the exhaust. So that's fine. Like unless you want to change that, you don't need to. And the car is very much already set up. All you need to do is just put textures on, get the textures back onto it, do the LODs, collisions, rotations, and all that. So you don't have to do any of like the axis stuff and whatnot, unless it's severely broken. You don't have to. So let's go and start LODing. And it's basically just regular LODing. You just convert to compound, lock, and then LO. Just like that. Oh, don't do that. And now with some models, you'll see that the like L2 or L3 LOD literally just looks like a shadow, and that is correct. It is supposed to look like that because in GTA 4 that's what the L2 or L3 LOD was. So don't be surprised if you see that. This model doesn't have it, but it's fine. I do recommend you listen to music. Currently, I'm listening to some electro swing. It's actually quite nice. I guess I'll link it down below. It's a quite nice soundtrack. Because you're gonna get very bored if you're, not like talking to friends or listening to music. So, yeah. This doesn't take long unless like the car's fully L4'd, LOD'd. But most of the time, most of the devs either don't LOD it at all, or they do, just like L2 or something. So just things that you should need, like one of the, you don't have to have it as long as like a friend has it. But I recommend you have it because I don't think your friends would always appreciate you asking them to open up WTDs. WTDs are basically GTA 4's equivalent of a white TD. It's a texture dictionary. And to open it, you need GTA 4. Sure, you can probably get some sort of cracked version, but I have mine legitly, so I use it. But you can, of course, ask a friend or something, or if the person that, let's say you're doing this as a commission or something, the person that you're converting for has GTA 4, you can ask them to do it. But yeah, I recommend you have GTA 4 because we're going to be opening up that WTD here in a few minutes. Oh, did something. Yep, just keep an eye of what you're doing so you don't accidentally do things like that. There we are. Oh Lord. Okay. There's gonna be a few things linked down in the description. One of them is a ZModeler, to the ZModeler forums. We need that later when we do our door rotations. So that basically just states the door rotations for everything. Those are just basic and the ones that should be followed. You can of course tweak them up to the hundredth, yeah, the hundredth place decimal. I haven't tried thousand place decimal, but I know you can do it up to the hundredth place. Now, when you're doing the collisions for vehicle, I'm just getting all this. I'm just talking while I'm doing this, just so I'm not silent. But and I'm gonna be repeating this information, of course, as we go along. I'm just saying it now. But uh, for the collisions, you best have some patience and basic knowledge of ZModeler, because I'm not really going to explain it while I go through this tutorial. So if you have a friend that'll explain to you, that's fine, because I'm not really going to. Um, Alright, sorry about that jump cut. I had to use the restroom quickly. But yep. So we're basically done LODing. Uh, on this model, it appears that the author didn't really put any effort into the LODs. Fair enough. But yeah. Now, depending on how thorough you are with your convert, you can do a basic one in under an hour, and the whole process may take about 3. But now we go ahead and open up our YTD. I'm sorry, our WTD. Let me just go in for this. There we are. Usually it's in a file. Usually you do have it. Why did I say usually? You always have it. Because you wouldn't be able to put the car into GTA 4 if you didn't. So wherever you have your files, I recommend you make a new folder called textures. Now the textures for this file do not look, it does not look like a lot of textures, considering it's not 158 kilobytes. You're going to see me open this up in Administrator. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. I don't know why it has me do that. It's strange. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's okay. It's just very strange that it has me do that. So of course, don't press GTA 5, press GTA 4. So go on and let it open up. And you'll actually see a difference. Like, if you've never gone through the files of GTA 4, you'll see that there is actually a very, well, not a very big, but definitely see the similarities between the two games, with, like, especially just the files. Like, the files names and whatnot. Also recommend you keep, I recommend you keep the OpenIV tab for the car, whichever one that you're open. So when you're doing your textures, you can actually reference it if you like, if you're not sure where a texture goes and whatnot. For now, you open up the WTD, and oh god, there is not a lot of textures. Oh lord. Okay. Usually you have more textures than this. Well, I guess in this case, we do not. And it's basically just the same way. You just export all textures, PNG, that's fine. And just find wherever your file is. Textures, select folder, and allow it to thing. There we are. Now I recommend you take the Vesher folder from GTA 5, as you will be using it a lot. The Vesher folder basically has a ton of textures in it that every car in GTA basically uses. And that's why you won't see certain textures in certain YTDs. So you may never see an ENV texture in your YTD. You may never see a black texture in your YTD. You may never see the tire textures in your YTD. It's because they're all located in the Vesher YTD, which is used by every vehicle. So I recommend you extract that. If you want, you can also extract the GTA 4 one. You don't really need to, but if you want to, you can. So I usually like to start off with adding actually my Vesher my Vesher textures, because if you have your Vesher textures, as I do, as DDSs, all you have to do is import one of that Vesher texture, so such as the ENV or the black, and then every other texture that you import that is in reference to a Vesher will import automatically by itself. I don't know how that worked, but it does. I like to just import them all together like this. So you should grab the black, blank normal, ENV. Scroll down here. I also grab the plates. So plate one and the plate one normal map. Then I also grab the plate spec map and the plate normal map. And then somewhere around here is the vehicle generic. There we go. Small spec map. So those are the few that I grabbed from the Vesher YTD. And now we can go on and grab the other ones from the actual car textures. There we are. So we don't need to grab that black YTD. We also need to grab that one. And there we are. Sorry, that actually scares me a lot that there's only 4 actual textures that this car uses. Oh god. Let's have a look at materials. Okay, not a big materialist. That's something you'll actually notice. Excuse me. Something you'll actually notice about GTA 4 cars. They don't have. Excuse me. They don't have a very big material list. Now sometimes you'll see this double default material. This is because this one is from GTA 4 and this one's from GTA 5. That's why you usually see it. Sometimes you may see a GTA default, basically the same thing as the default material. But you know, right now it's basically, if you never like did the materials on something, it's basically what you're doing right now. And the thing I liked about GTA 4 is that they were very blunt with what the material was. Unlike today, when you have a texture named when you have a material named ass, and you have no idea what it is. So this one is a light emissive, and you can tell that's the light submissive. So you go and press the Pac-Man logo, GTA 5, vehicle generic, and vehicle light emissive. There we go. And you go and just put the texture on, which is. Did I not grab it? I'm pretty sure I did. And this is what I'm talking about. You can use, yeah, there we are. Because this is super small, and you can't really see things on it, so. I'm very confused right now. I don't think I grabbed it. No, I didn't. There it is. Alright. Make sure you grab all the textures. As you can see, it is indeed now that. And as you can see, it already fills. As long as it's a DDS, and these other stuff will just fill themselves in. Gone. The red glass is the red glass, as you can see there. Now it doesn't appear to have a custom red glass, but let's see. Okay, no. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, we can fix that later though. Yeah, sometimes the vehicle does have a custom like red glass, so you might want to grab that from the YTD and import it, because it'll import like this with just the regular GTA 5 one, and then you could just replace it. Don't UV map it to this one. I actually did that once, and I haven't touched that car since. So yeah, interior 2 is most likely, yep, the interior. Now, I don't recommend using interior 2, because one, you're going to get yelled at by everyone in mankind. So, just going to make a vehicle mesh, like that. It's probably going to go bright white, like submissive. Just going to double click it, assign whatever material that it is. I'm pretty sure it's not that one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And you can't really see, so we're going to change the spec map to black, the black DDS, and there we are. And as you can see, that is not it. That is definitely not it. So which one was this one? That was numbers. Let's try this one. There we are. As you can see, nothing here is normal mapped. So if you have a program in Paint.net like I do, you can go and just normal map it. I believe there's also a website that can do it. If I can remember the website link to it, I'll link it down below. And I'm sure there's probably also sites that do it for plugins that do it for Photoshop. For me, it's this one. This was made by, I don't remember who it was made by. I know it came in some sort of plugin pack that I have installed from the Paint.net. Now you can mess with these settings if you want to make the, I don't really know if it's crisper, deep fried, I don't know. But sometimes the texture, the normal map that you make for GTA 4 isn't really that detailed. So it might be worth messing with these to see if you can get more details. So I proceed to that one. Go and save it, and just save it, and just remember to put like map or normal map or something at the end. I just put end at the end. I don't really change the texture name, as I really can't bother. So you can go and do that. Press this, press add, and just add it in. Sometimes you see a difference, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it may darken the texture a little bit, but that's fine. Moving on, paint 1 is usually, that's usually your thing. So in our case, we're going to make it paint 3, just because that's basically what every vehicle nowadays uses. And now for now, let's just use a basic white. So, we can just make this 2048 by 2048, 2048 by 2048. Just save that. Yeah, you just put that in there. Caravan underscore sign underscore 1. There we are. As I said, okay. So for detail, you should put vehicle generic small spec map, and for detail 2, you put whatever texture template you may have for it. Now, sometimes if you do the paint 3, and then you, if the card came with the template and you put that onto it, the template may not work. That's just because it wasn't done for that UV map. So, because paint 3 uses manual UV2, and sometimes it may have been for 3 or 1, most likely 1. So it may not work sometimes. But it's just very simple to fix. Sometimes. Anyhow, moving on. Mesh, see, this is sometimes also why I don't like it, is because, well, they're descriptive in what they are. Sometimes they aren't, sometimes they're just mesh, and sometimes they're not as, blunt as this, where you can see that it's, I believe that's a black area. Yeah, you can see that's black right there. Oh. But yeah, sometimes they're not as blunt as that, and sometimes they're like some weird small like screw on the middle of the car somewhere. So you might be saying use vehicle interior 2, no, just use vehicle mesh and just make it black. Just make it black. There we are. Spec map. Yeah, change the spec map to black. There we are. And that will do you well in the long run. Mesh again. Is that black as well? Yeah, that's the underneath. Yes. Okay. See, this is also where I recommend that it may be good sometimes to grab the brusher from GTA 4, because that's what it's using there. So it's this one. So all we need to do is this. Grab it. There we are. No, I also saw this. I'm gonna grab these ones as well, the door shuts. sometimes actually most of the models that I've seen for GTA 4 do have this one. Also, if you like to see something, this is the police livery for GTA 4. This is the base texture that they use. So here we are. Anyhow, moving back, we can go and make this vehicle mesh. Here we are. Just add these in. Here we are. Open. Vehicle detail 2. That is not what that is, apparently. Okay. Back. That is not what that is. Huh. Interesting. So it's using... Oh, no, wait, it came with one. Didn't it? Yeah, it did. Tip of advice, don't be an idiot like me and do that. Yeah, it has this one. There we are. There we go. We're making a normal map for that. Can I delete these? Or do I need to delete them? No, I can delete those. Okay. Right here. Yep, just make sure that you don't add unnecessary textures to places that don't need them. This also looks like kind of like that same like vesture texture that has that driver San Francisco plate. Every car in San Francisco used. And then we can go and add the normal map for it. There we are. And oh my god! We can go and change the spec map to black. There we are. Oh my goodness. Alright. Next up. Oh. Tire. Okay. Now, for this, if you did what I did and inputted those textures, it's going to automatically put a tire texture on there. But this vehicle, this car already comes with its own tire texture, so we don't need these. Maybe the dirt map, but we don't need the other ones. So it uses this one, tire. So we don't put that one on, and then it comes with a pump map as well. So we can put that one on. There we are. And then we just have to change the spec map to, let's say, just black. There we are. And that doesn't look right. That does not look right. What's wrong with you? You are using the tire texture, no? Yeah, that is the tire texture. So why are you doing that? That is a part of it, right? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, we can fix that UV stuff in a bit. Now, it'll, again, like if you assign vehicle tire to anything, it'll automatically put that tire texture on it. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I understand why, but it doesn't make sense. Also, if you think that you can put vehicle mesh for the tire, you cannot. It has to be vehicle tire. I don't know why, but it has to be vehicle tire. Move. There we are. So I need to make a normal for that. This one. That's the thing about GT4 models. Excuse me. That's the thing about GT4 models. A lot of them didn't have the necessary textures because a lot of them didn't use the materials that we use today. like they existed, but they weren't used. See, like vehicle interior 2 or vehicle interior was popular back in GTA 4, but now in GTA 5, vehicle interior and vehicle interior 2 is basically frowned upon if anyone uses it. So times do change. Excuse me. Something's not right with that. Did I not? Yeah, I did. Is it you? No. Is it you? What? Huh? That is the RAM logo. Yeah, that is the RAM logo. This one does have the RAM text. Or the Dodge, I should say, sorry. Yeah, Dodge. What? Okay. We have to fix the UV mapping on that, I think. I presume. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix the UV mapping on that as well. Okay. What is this? Is that? Yeah. So if it's like the brake disc behind the tire, that doesn't need to be vehicle tire. That can just be vehicle mesh. Use that. I think you do. Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll have to see. Black. No, you do not. I presume this. Yeah, it's that. And then I have strong hat. No left. There we are. So the shuts is actually usually just under the hood. I don't know why. That's what it usually is. Yeah, there we are. I believe there is one for it. Yeah, vehicle shuts. And we've just used the one that we grabbed from GTA 4. Right there, vehicle generic door shuts. And we grab the other one, on the map. There we are. I don't really know why, it's usually just the hood. But sometimes I can't be bothered with it and I just put a part of the paint material. Just call it a day. And interior 2. You, yeah. Mesh. Zoom that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, man. And that's basically just the basic convert that you can do for a vehicle. Now, of course, from here you can probably get it into game. I do recommend you save it. But from here you can basically get it into game if you don't mind the texture issues. We're going to fix those before we get into game. And we're also going to do a few other things before we get into game. So let me grab the tire. So while we're here at the tire, make sure you put brackets on ELF. If not, it will not work. Alright, so we're going to grab that. Change it to UV mapper. Polygon. Select by material, and then this one. Mapping. Mapping. Tire. What are you using? Why are you using that? Should be using that? No? Yeah? Is there is it using the wrong texture? I don't understand why that's not working. I mean, none of the other ones have the wrong logo on it. I can see at least. Alright, I guess. There we go. Next up, we drive this one. Now, I don't really understand how to map tire. It's not the tire texture. That is not the tire texture. What? I selected the right one, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's using tire. I think that was just ZModeler would be done. Tire. It's not reacting. Now it is. What? Why are you? Why? Huh? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make a new material for that. New tire. Oh, I forgot. It's because that sometimes when you have stuff named the same things, so such as here, 4 tires, it sometimes may get confused of which one you're doing. So if you need to start UV mapping stuff, I recommend that you make either subtle differences in each one, or just rename them completely. Either one works. You'll also notice that if you're trying to rebind certain parts of the vehicle to a different material. So let's say you have like 4 different areas that use a black material, but it's like 6 different textures, or I'm sorry, 6 different materials, and you're trying to bind them together. You'll notice that it doesn't understand which one that it needs to go to, because you have the 4 different or like the 6 different materials named black. And it'll assign itself to like either like the one above it, the one closest to it, or anything like that. So whichever one that you want to use, make sure you have it prevalent and know that you want to use that one. So tires. That's a bad idea. Probably that default material. There we are. So the tires. That still doesn't work. Okay. Huh. Interesting. That is very interesting. Where's the... Okay, there's that. That's the one that it's supposed to be using. So, let's see. I have no idea what's going on with that tire texture. No, we'll just leave it like this for now, I guess. And I'll just put some new tire textures on it. Probably just grab Robert's RSA off of MF. Put this onto it for now, since I have no idea what's going on with that tire texture. Alright, so let's say that you've already finished all of your UV mapping that you need to do for stuff. Now you can go on to rotations and lights ID. I assure you these are not as complicated as they sound. The first thing we'll be doing is door rotations. So basically grab whichever door you want to start with. In this case I'm going to be starting with the bonnet, or the hood. I'm going to uncheck LOD. Now some people do the isolated, I don't really know what that, I don't understand its purpose. But I recommend you do it from top view. So go and just select it, go into properties, change it to a cylinder, solid, make it not solid. You never have to change the axes. I'm going to double click user defined options. You're going to type in flags, rotate X, abbreviated as ROT, then X, ROT Y, rotate Y, and then ROT Z, rotate Z. And these are the three axes that you of course have, the X, Y, and Z axis. And in these, you're going to put for for flags, you can put E, rotate X, you can put 0, 0, rotate Y, you can put 0, 72. Remember, no spaces between all of these. And then for rotate Z, you can put 0, 0. And now, I'm going to say this here. These are not the same for all of the doors. There's going to be different stuff for all of the doors, so you can't skip this part. So I'm just press OK and apply. You'll see some differences, and that's good. Ooh, that's not good. That's not supposed to be that. Oh yeah, that's fine, because it's X. Alright, so forgive what I just did. Rotate Y is 0, 0. The rotate X is 0, 72. I swear I know what I'm doing. If you're also having troubles, you can open up the link that I have linked down below, which is this, and scroll down, and it'll be here under the right here, text guide for all your rotations. So there you go. See, because these have been implanted in my mind, so I know them. Just press apply again. There we are. Now you can also, if something doesn't look right, just use your common sense and, a hood goes up. So should this be on its side or should this be going up? If that makes any sense. Press hello again, and you should see that nothing's changed here. Go and close that and put on your boot. Now these are just the general rotations. As I said before, you can you can change them if you need to. If something may not be right, you can of course change them into the hundredths place. Yeah, the hundredths place. Why was I saying into the hundredths place? The hundredths place decimal. So, and just note, if it doesn't auto-save like that, it will get rid of all the progress you had here while you're editing this. And it's basically the same thing that you did for the bonnet, but in this case, instead of putting rotate X 0, 72, it's going to be rotate -72, 0. So again, E, -72, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, apply. And as you can see, like that. Then you should see nothing's changed here. Then we go down to the doors. So driver's side left. Hello, off. Select it. Now you can change the scaling of it if you want, because I believe the smaller it is, the tighter the rotation is. So if you want, instead of changing like the decimal value, you can change the scaling. I recommend it. So for the doors, you keep the axis on Y. And it's the same thing, of course, as before. Flags. Rotate X. Rotate Y. Rotate Z. And in this case, on the driver's side, it is 0, 72. And on the passenger side, it will be 72, negative 72, 0. So you can see that here. Cylinder, that, flags. Negative 72, 0, 0, 0. It's okay. Then apply. Then move down to the driver's side door. Cylinder, boom, boom. Driver's side door. If I remember correctly on this model, as you can see, this is the page that I got this one off of. Oh, so those are suicide doors. Right. So usually you would put the regular values for it. For these, in this case, this door is special, so it uses the opposite value on each side of the door. So the driver one will use the passenger side one, and the passenger side one will use the driver side one. But in your case, just put the values the same. Huh. Oh, that's because it's from the phone. Okay. Got like severely confused there for a second. No, I don't really know what the E flag does. All I know is that you just have to put it, and it makes things work. So that's all I really know about that. And again, the rotations that you see me put here are not the ones that you will put for your vehicle, because your vehicle is most likely normal. So on the passenger side, you would of course put negative 72, 0, and then on the driver side, you put 0, 72. Fine, and congratulations, you've done all your door rotations. Now we move on to the light IDs. And I assure you they're not as intimidating as they sound. So all you have to do is turn on your lights. I don't know why these aren't LED. So go on to select whatever light it is. And this is something that you do have to do one by one. You can't just select all the lights like that and just do it like that. So go on to select your light. So that's the left front blinker. Go on to polygon, select it again. Now, you should be running the latest version of ZModeler. If you're not, I don't know why. But you can probably find a list of the light IDs. I'll probably link list one down below as well. But if you're running the latest version of ZModeler, you go to Properties, first GTA 5. I'm going to open up this light type. So all you have to do is just know which one it is. So in this case, it's the front left indicator. Press OK, then hit Apply. And then it'll automatically put the light ID right there. And it'll deselect it, and like that, you're done. So you're going to turn that off, and just do the same thing. So that is the left indicator, front right, there we are. Left right indicator, what? Oh, that axis is weird. So that is the rear left indicator. Left. That's basically it for the lights. You basically just do that. Reverse light. Now you'll notice that a lot of these vehicles don't have the same like setup with these lights as their GT5 counterparts. I presume because back then, I guess there wasn't as many that you had to do as nowadays, but all your lights will still work fine. It's like I was converting a vehicle a little while ago, and it didn't have like the tail lights or anything like that, but you turn the lights on, they still came on because it only had like the brake light one in ZModeler. So yeah. Make sure you actually hit apply before you do that. Alright, go ahead and turn everything back on. Now, I'm fairly certain I mentioned collision IDs. We're going to be doing that after we do our in-game test. So, once you do your light IDs and your vehicle door rotations, if you want to, you can do collisions now, but I like to get it into game right about now. Alright, sorry about that. The music stopped. My music stopped for some reason. As I was saying though, when I get done doing my door rotations on like IDs, I like to get in the game just to test the vehicle, make sure it actually works and whatnot. It's not going to crash in the game and whatnot. So we're gonna go and do that now. You can do your collisions now if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. Don't want to do that all while work and then like they crash in the game or something because it can do that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making, because most vehicles are inside of a dummy that is named whatever it is. So in this case, I'm just gonna name it Caravan, and that's basically it. I'll do it again. Now, ZModeler is mostly going to get mad at me for having these two default materials, so get rid of these. Then we go and export it. And now don't be surprised that if it has a very small file size. Because I've done some vehicle converts where it's been under 1,000 kilobytes, which is very surprising to me, but don't be surprised if it's under, or it has a very small file size. So now you can actually close out your GTA4 OpenIV, you don't need that anymore. And you can go and open up a regular OpenIV. I did set this right. No, I'm just going to set it again. Stream. Make a new one TV. Van. Import architectures. That one. Where's the tire? I'm sure. Oh, it's 6 seats. Yeah, interesting. So now, I make vehicles for Flyground as that's easier for me to use. You can of course do this for your GTA or for single player. I just don't know the process. I'm sure it's probably the same, but again I don't know. So for me, I'm just gonna copy those two things from a different vehicle convert. I don't know if they work. Basically here, vehicles meta. We'll mess with first. Object to take care of. Van. Handle line usually, actually, when you get a vehicle GTA 4, it'll have whatever vehicle that it replaces, the WFT replaces. So in my case, it was actually minivan, and that is a vehicle in GTA 5. So you can just put minivan as your handling line, or let's say it says police, you can put police. Let's say it says Buffalo, you can put or like if Charger, you can put police 2 or Buffalo, anything like that. Of course, you have a custom one. You can put it you can do your custom one. Start it and then launch your game. There's probably gonna be a jump cut here because it does take a while for my server to start up. Alright. Don't mind that I'm in windowed mode. I just I prefer testing things like this so I can easily get out of game and whatnot. And if you see any lag, don't mind that. My computer sucks. Laptop, I should say. Now, there's gonna be a few things that you're gonna be testing here. One is the door rotations. Two is gonna be the lights. That's basically it. You don't really get to test anything else. If you, yeah, it's just, and you're also testing, make sure the color actually works in game and whatnot. Oh, I forgot to do, yeah. So, I forgot to show y'all how to do wheel collisions. But while we're here, we can just make sure that everything works. So as you can see, oh, there's that lag I was talking about. The headlights turn on, the taillights turn on like that. Let me fight the lag and turn this off. No, I'm gonna make it nighttime. Hello, computer, please. Thank you. Make it midnight. Usually you do if you're following how I'm doing it, you usually do the wheel collisions before you get in the game, just so you have the wheels. I just forgot to do them. So in our case, we'll just do it after. I'll probably both be another jump cut here while it takes 17 years to turn nighttime. That's not like change the music. Alright, there we are. Starting the nighttime. Oh, there's that lag. You can see, I'm pretty sure I forgot to do that one, so, see, this is how you test things. So that's the center brake light, so I know what that one is. As you see, game, please. You see headlights. For some, you can see that it does the extra lights thing. When I know it doesn't have it. That's what I'm talking about. So if you drive forward, hit your brake lights, see the brake lights turn on. I don't know why the axis form is down there. That's weird. Reverse lights, you see they work. Turn on your indicators. As you see, they work. Of course, you can turn them on individually if you want. If you want it to work. So press the right buttons as well. There we are. So as you can see, that's everything that's all the lights that we need to work. So you want to make it that daytime, which is for some reason quicker than it goes at night. So now we basically are testing the door rotations. Now you can test them individually. Nobody's got time for that, so we're just gonna open up all the doors. There you go. You see that they work. Now for you, of course, your doors would open regularly. In this case, this vehicle is special, and those doors open like that. So, all those work. So I just need to fix the center brake light there. And then we can just go get out of the game. Now, if you have a localhost 5 server, how do you keep these up? Don't what is it? Don't close them, because we can be using them later. So for the center brake light, it's of course, just basically how you would for anything else. Yeah, apparently. I don't think that's steady burn, so I'm just gonna grab it off of it and just make it its own thing, because that seems really weird if it is just steady burn, which I don't think it is. Go ahead. Dismiss it. I don't think these are. Yeah, those are just the same thing. So let me just delete that. Let me copy that. There we are. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me do this. So let me grab these. Detach. That'll become something else here in a second. Copy it again. Do I have something else using this texture? The light submissive texture. What is this again? 52. Okay. I think I have. No, the interior is using something. No, the interior. Yeah, interior is using the same texture. And this is what I mean by that. Like, if you have multiple things named the same thing, let's say I was changing like interior 2 to a different interior 2. It's gonna bound. It might bind to a different interior 2 because it's named the same thing, and it'll glitch out. So that's what I mean by that. So you might want to change the name sometimes. Again, then we LOD. I'm gonna have to redo the rotations on it. That is fine. Like that, and this will be changed to brakelight underscore M. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, brakelight underscore M. And for if you're doing something like what I'm doing and actually grabbing the light, what you want to do is that you're gonna want to reset the parent. Oh. Yeah, I should unlink it. Oh, don't do that. Unlink it first, and then reset the parent, and then center the local axis. And then you can do your external ID on it. So polygon, select it again. Do that, and then center brakelight. There we are. I'm going to do the rotations for this. Oh, or do these already have rotations? That already has rotations. Okay, so we're going to redo that. Let me fix these. Yeah, those have the really weird ones. There we are. So reset the parent. Center the local axis. These also have a weird one. Yeah. So, oh, that works. Taillight. Yeah, do that for these ones as well. Close. Thank you. Those ones are all weird as well. I don't know why it does that, or why it's doing that, I should say. This one's fine. Those ones are not fine. There we go. Shouldn't do that. Alright. Now it's wheel collision time. So we're going to grab your wheel, make a dummy, select that dummy, change it to a cylinder. I don't really know why you have to do this, maybe make the color green, so you can just put 250 in the RGB. Okay. You can change it to X. Then you're going to change scale X to 0.25, scale Y to 0.35, and scale X to 0.35. Then of course you will be, and make sure you make it not solid, there we are. And then you make it, I'm sorry. You of course going to, scale it and whatnot to fit your tire. Those are just the basic, that's just the basic one, just to get it to the general size. Going to move it into your wheel, turn off LO, and you press this one to copy local axes from one node to each other. You're going to press your wheel dummy, and then click the collision dummy for collision. Then you'll notice I will center it over it. I'm going to turn this off and select this, and then turn it back on. There we are. And would you look at that? So in this case, the tire is a bit bigger than the wheel. So you can just turn off pivot and just make it a bit bigger than the wheel. Make it X on this, so you have a bit of, yeah, that's actually fine. Sometimes you may have to do some extreme ones, sometimes it may be just something little like this. And now you copy it 3 more times. So you keep one wheel left, you change one to wheel, or whatever order that you have them in. So in my case, it's right front, left rear, and then right rear. Move them into their respective ones. Open them all up. Make sure you have everything turned off, and then turn on them, turn them on. And they're basically going to do the same thing. You're going to copy one node to each other, or center it. Just so you're not moving it and you're getting stuff, you're offsetting stuff and whatnot, and the collisions aren't right. This is just, if you get something wrong, they're all equally wrong. So if you want, you can go back and basically now test in game. I'm not going to, as I know that it's gonna work. Oh, you know what? Yeah, because I want to show y'all something. The reason why I say that you're not going to use, or I'll explain that while we're loading. But as I said before, keep this up because you don't always have to put it up. All you have to do is type ensure the name of the resource, let it do its thing. Once it does its thing, type refresh, and then you can load back into your server and the new version will be put in. So as I was saying, excuse me, the reason why you're not going to keep the collisions that come with the vehicle is because the only thing keeping you on the ground are technically the wheel collisions. That's it. Because if there was no wheel collisions, or no wheels, the vehicle would just fall straight through the earth. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Now, if you actually noticed, from the time we started to the time that we got into the game the first time, that was about an hour. So this doesn't take long, and that's like the thing that people may like be discouraged to do it by the time it takes. To do the basic convert stuff doesn't take very long at all. It's when you want to start getting into doing the more complicated stuff, such as like steering wheels, dials, and whatnot. See, I don't know how to I know how to do steering wheels. I don't know how to do dials. I could probably learn from a friend of mine though, because he did them for a car. So that's when it starts to take a bit more time because you have to learn how to do it, understand how to do it. Because I know that's a very lengthy process. But as you can see here, the center brake light now works, and now the wheels work. So you can see they turn and whatnot. So what I mean by if there weren't any wheel collisions, the vehicle would literally just fall through the earth. If we go up with F2, and then I keep the vehicle upside down like this, it should just fall straight through the earth. That's what I mean by that. It is literally just going to fall straight through the earth. And it's going to keep doing that. Or well, yeah, well, it would keep doing that if it was upside down. Because technically it doesn't have any sort of collisions. Because it doesn't recognize the GTA 4 ones for some reason. So now is when we move into, this is the longest process out of all of this, is doing the regular collisions. It just auto-saved. I'm also going to do a manual save. There we go. And just going to close all of those. And I don't know why I just closed them. I'm going to open all this stuff back up. Open all that stuff back up and delete all of the collisions. It doesn't matter. The only ones you're not deleting are the wheel ones, since we already just made those. But you are going to delete the other rest. There we go. So we're going to start off with the bonnet. Now there are two ways you can usually do your collisions. You can either make it one whole box, just do vertex scenes with the box, or you can do half of it and then mirror it. I usually like doing, it depends on the mood I'm in, but right now we're going to do, make a new material, if you deleted your default one, rename it default material, or just put it at the front. So you don't have that, because the way that unbound materials work, if you haven't figured it out by now, is that they default to the first material in the material hierarchy. So if you don't want it as a light submissive, I recommend you do that. Now, whatever perversion you had to using vertex goes out the window here, because I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to do this without vertex. So, yeah. Now here's one of those things that I'm not just gonna explain it. But to make things like that, you're just gonna make new vertexes and whatnot, just so that you can get, your collision correctly, and it's not like off-centered and lopsided and whatnot. Now, not the best of collisions, but it'll do the job. So now, copy it, and then you can mirror on the x-axis and first of all, why do I have 3 of these? Okay. Have pivot off, turn one on, and then just mirror it like that. Boom, there you go, now you got a collision. Just go and name it bonnet, COL. And don't make it a collision yet. Don't actually, do the, compound for a collision. We're going to do that when we get all of them done. So with the boot, of course, your boot will most likely be for a sedan or something, so, you can just make it accordingly. You can skip this part if you want, but I recommend you stick around for the windows, because sometimes the windows are just stupid to do, because they're dumb and whatnot. But if you want, I'm not forcing you, I'm not your dad. Don't do that. Oh, that's not the right place. Oh, there we are. Nope, don't make sure you have that off. Vertex, and it didn't do anything. Click, click, boom, boom. There we are. Move that like that. There we go. Move that like that. Move that. Now, I do recommend you, of course, try to make the collision fit the vehicle the best that you can. Because you don't want, ram bar type collisions out here where, you can be, 40 feet away from something and then just hit something randomly and you're like, what? Yeah, we're trying to avoid that. People don't like that. Now, I might do a tutorial on how to template a vehicle, because I don't think this car has a template. So I might do a tutorial on how to template a vehicle and whatnot. Yeah, it's template and dirt map and whatnot. Windscreen R. Lord, let's. Now the windscreens are the things that I usually do just in one box, just because I could care less about them, and most time they don't even break. So yeah. Now, if I can figure out how to do that thing where people put like where the video is separated into like time codes and whatnot, I will, because I like that. I find that nice. But if I can't, I guess I'll do like stuff in the description of like when I change topics. I guess if that makes like any sense. I know y'all don't just want to sit here watching me make collisions for like 30 minutes, so like an hour. It's like how long it would take. I'll just use x-axis and beats. But yeah, if you don't have the patience for it, you are going to get bored very quickly. You know, if you have a friend who's willing to do it for you, always accept that. Because anytime I can get out of doing collisions, I will. I don't mind doing them, it's just I don't like it. Very interesting bumper. Yeah, it's fine. Like, fairly sure I know. As I said, I think I know what I'm doing. Come on. No, I can probably just. Don't mind me, just do not. Oh, don't do that. Don't mind me. There we go. As I said, just do not mind me. I am a simple butterfly fluttering in the wind. There is no need to pay any attention to me, as I am not doing anything out of the ordinary. Now, I've converted vehicles in about like 4 hours, and now it's doing everything I've shown before, and the collisions. Depending on the vehicle, times will vary and whatnot. Another thing you should also look out for is in the readmes. Make sure that the vehicle wasn't made for GTA 5, then converted back to GTA 4. Because it's a weird thing that people do, but people do it. Make sure you don't accidentally convert a vehicle that was originally made for GTA 5 that you can just get unlocked. That is totally not from experience. I I assure you. But I will admit, Carface does have a very nice a very nice 1986 Buick Century made for GTA 5 that was converted to GTA 4. No correlation there with what I just said. Oh, don't do that. There. Now, I usually say this in all my tutorials, but this is probably not the right way to do this. But this is the way I do it. This is the way that's worked best for me. If you have a different way of doing things, tell me, I guess. If you want, keep it to yourself, I guess. If you want, I'm not really asking. I don't really care. Here's the part of the video where I'm obligated to say that if you have any questions, just feel free to join my Discord. You can also ask on this YouTube video, but I'm probably not going to respond right away as I don't check YouTube a lot. So do join my Discord. You know, once you get your question, you can just leave. Or, once you get your question answered, you can just leave. I don't really care. So yeah, I'll at least have to see you though. But yeah, I don't really care if you leave. It's your account. You have a nice community over there. Don't be frightened to join by the amount of people in it. There may be a lot of people in there. I assure you, I've never seen half of them talk once in that server, so it's okay. There's only about 30 of us who actually speak on a regular basis. So I'll even have my staff members that I don't see interacting. Body shell, of course, doesn't get a collision. The doors do, though. The thing I like about driver San Francisco doors is that they don't have the the door panel, so it's really just a straight line. So you don't have to take into account the door panel. Now, you can probably add on to the collision to include the mirror. Most collisions for any vehicle really don't do that. I guess they don't care about the mirror, so I'm not going to do that. If you really wanted to, I guess you could. Again, I'm not your dad, I don't really care. As long as you just follow the tutorial right. Now, something I'm actually going to point out here is that what you don't want to do is you don't want to just select the middle polygon. You know, split. What is this tool called? And slice it, and then try vertexing it, because you can have this weird thing where this appears, where it's split right there, and it took me a while to figure out why I was doing that. But I figured out it's because since I was just selecting this polygon when you're supposed to be selecting all three of these. Then you can slice it like that, just like that. Let's see again. We can do it now, and there you go. Now the entire thing moves. Just make sure you're just selecting the middle one and whatnot. That's not going to get you an even one. That's not going to get you an even collision. That's just going to make it bad. I say that in the nicest way possible. Right about there. Why did you? That is very interesting how it did that. Like, I'm sure you can probably do these in if you'd prefer Blender. Would I recommend it? No. But I guess if you really wanted to and you prefer it, I guess you can do it in Blender. I'm not typing that out since it's 5 in the morning. I'm just going to copy paste that. There we go. Collision. Grab the left front window. Now, I should probably said this when I first started, but since it just came to me right now, I'm going to say it now. Don't. If someone tells you that you can grab the collision off of another vehicle and use them on here, you can do that. That is something you can do if you want to, and if you're lazy or like you just need to get some collisions that worked for now, just so you can do like a basic release or something, and just fix the collision later on. You can just get the vehicle that like is similar to it. It shares a similar body style. So like in our case, you would grab the I would grab, like if I were to do that, I would grab the minivan, as it shares the most similar body shape. But if you're doing like a 2010 Charger or just like a 2014 Charger, you'd grab Franklin's Buffalo or the regular Buffalo. If you're doing an Explorer, you might grab the Hauler, the newer gen one. And just stuff like that. So that is something you can do. Would I recommend you keep those collisions? No. I'd recommend you fix them later on. Just because that, even with as much vertexing you could do to it, make the collisions fit, you're still never going to have as good as collisions as you would as if you made them yourself. So I would recommend that you, at some point in time, redo the collisions yourself. Plus, you don't have to include Rockstar in your credits. Because Rockstar didn't help you in this. Or Rockstar didn't. You know what I mean. It's 5 in the morning. It's tired. This is when I do most of my converting. This is my sleep schedule now. Window LF. Window underscore LF. Collision. And now, what we're going to be doing for these doors is that we're just going to do the driver's side ones, copy them, and then just mirror them over. Because I mean, there's no need to. Oh, wait, okay. There's no need to redo them on the other side. You just copy them, mirror them, and whatnot. Now I would say we're about an hour 30 minutes in. So, as I keep on saying throughout this video, this doesn't take long to do the basic stuff. It does not take long at all. It's when you want to get into the more complicated stuff, such as before, the dials, the steering wheels, and whatnot like that. But to do this basic stuff, it does not take long at all. Now, I'll also recommend you only convert stuff that, doesn't exist for GTA 5, because there's no need to convert a Vic from GTA 4 to GTA 5. There's already 17, alright, for GTA 5. You don't need to convert another one. So, just keep that in mind. Such in this case, where have you seen an unlocked Dodge Caravan? Yeah, I've never seen one either, so. My throat is going to be wrecked after this. So much talking. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, that, don't go release, stuff without asking for permissions. But at the same time, it's also the thing where a lot of these developers for GTA 4 either made an account on GTA Inside, uploaded one thing, and then disappeared. It's either that or, they're just gone. They've left the modding community, they're moved on in their life and whatnot. And you're not gonna get a reply. So would I recommend you release it without their permission? No. But I mean, if it's over a few months and you have gotten no reply from them, I guess you could. Like, maybe just release it to some of your friends and whatnot. Don't like release it to the public, or release it in your Discord or something. But it's just that that's the sad reality about a lot of the GTA 5 even the GTA 5 and GTA 4 development communities. You have a lot of these people that just came in, made one mod, and then just left. Or, they're just gone. They're moved on in their life. Am I going to cut this out? Probably not. If someone wants to watch it, they can. I don't mind. I prefer it. Bye. Hello to that one person who's probably not watching. But if you are, I appreciate you. Thank you. I have very much respect for you. If you're redneck, then no. If it's any help when you're making collisions, your collision should loosely resemble, you know, the thing that you're making it fit to. I know that's kind of like a very obvious thing, but that's like not a concept in some people's minds. Like in some people's minds, like box good. It's like how? Like, that's not how that works. But okay. So to that one person who's actually been keeping up and watching this whole thing, we're gonna play a prank on the we're gonna pull a joke on the video skippers, the people who skip around. So there's gonna be a timestamp right here. After I'm stretching. Welcome back. Well, wow, Jesus Christ. Welcome back, video skipper. Okay, so we're gonna be moving on to the chassis collision after you finish all your collisions. The reason why I'm separating this into like a different type of a different section is because it's not necessarily a different way. It's what you do when you're finishing the collision. For this one at least, before you move on to the collision IDs that you do with the chassis one. Now, sometimes your chassis collision might just be like the seats or something. If you like you really don't have a chassis, you need a chassis collision for your car to work. So, like I don't know, put it on the body shell or something. Like model it around the body shell and just name it chassis, I guess. If you want to. But you need a chassis collision to have your vehicle work at least. So with the chassis collision, you're gonna do that thing I said earlier if you were watching. That you can't do that. So what I just did, well, I explained it, so I'm not even gonna explain it again. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, okay, that's good. Move that. X, Y. There we are. We can move that a bit like that. There we are. Then we can move this as well since that's already there. Move that. Move that like that. There we go. That's fine. Let's move that like that. Move that like that. Should probably do that on the x-axis. There we are. There we go. Alright, so the thing that you want to do with your chassis collision, because if you're like, sometimes you might want to make it, if you're doing sedan, of course it'd be more let it fit your vehicle. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Yeah, what you're gonna be doing here is that you're going to select the polygons for like that above your windscreen. In this case, we're gonna do the windscreen first. So turn off your chassis collision. You're going to use the slice tool, and you're just going to do that, so that you separate the polygon basically to be above the window, or the windscreen. And you can do that for all of your windows. So now if it's like the doors on the side, on the side of the vehicle, like this. Make sure you select it like that so you can select both sides so you don't have to do them. You can just go like this, or just select all of these. Those as well. That's all of them. So you just do this. If you, yeah, we'll do that. Space, we'll do that. There we are. It's not the prettiest thing. It is not the prettiest thing, but does it get the job done? It does get the job done, so that's all that matters. And then do the same thing for the back window. See, that's not exactly good. Now we need to do that, grab those, and we need to. That's not how that works as well. Alright, I fixed that. Of course, you can always make this more polished, but I am not one to make things polished. So, I like to trigger people. Not in a bad way, but I just like to trigger people the way I do things. Once you got it like that, you can just go name this chassis COL. You can turn everything on, and you can see it mostly covers the vehicle. Turn that off. You see there's a lot of boxes and whatnot. So, you can close that. Select everything. Select like that. So you have everything selected. Even the windows. Even the window collisions. Properties. Vertices. Format. Now you should have normals, tangents, primary colors, and deformable already selected. I'm going to deselect primary color and tangents. The color should change. It should get a bit darker. And you're going to deselect it. Now we're going to also make this again, all of these, just a collision, just like that, compound it into a collision. Probably turn the collision back on. Let's do that. There we are. So, go and grab your chassis collision, and you are going to select everything on it. So you can go and select like that. So right now what we're going to do is that we're going to turn off all of the, we're going to actually, so what we're going to do is that we're going to select all the polys that are are above a window collision, because we need those. And I'll explain why in a second. I'll turn this back. There we go. That's everything. Alright. And now, if you haven't figured it out already, select those in Polygon. Now turn on all of your, turn everything off, back off, turn on all of your window stuff, all your window collisions. There we are. Turn this back on. Select all again. Actually, turn that back off. Select all this. Select all of that. Object mode. Turn this back on. And just like that. Go into properties. And now again, if for some reason, if you're using an old version of ZMod, don't know why, we're going to be doing the collision ID values. They're in this tutorial. They're right here. These 120, 121, 122. I don't know why you'd be using an older version, but the newest versions have this again. So you can go to you can press vehicles and change it to car, glass, strong, weak, medium, whatnot. I don't like doing that. I like actually like doing glass, and it automatically goes to glass shoot through. Press OK and then press apply, and then you'll select all those. And now I'm going to turn everything else back on, or well, just right now we're going to do collision. And we're going to select everything again. And we can just turn off all the ones that we need for Windows. Those. There we are. Turn that back off, and then turn everything that is needed for a window back on. Or I'm sorry, that's like, if it's metal, turn it back on. Also known as basically everything else. So don't mind that ZModeler is having a fit. That's fine. If you just want to get rid of that, you can just save, and then it will get rid of itself. It gets annoying after a while, but for now, since we're almost finished, we can deal with it. Since all of that's selected, go back to properties. This time you're going to go to vehicles, then it automatically goes to car metal. If you want, I guess you can change it to something else if you want to. But in this case, car metal is fine. Select it, and then do all that. Turn everything back on. And you've done your collision IDs. All that's now left is if the vehicle doesn't have a plate, sometimes they have like the plate like model already there that you can just I'll probably just make a tutorial on how to do that. But yeah, you can just go and select that, make a plate. All you have to do now, I'm just going to save it again, manual. Excuse me. Move it into their respective ones. So, move bonnet into bonnet, boot into boot. So English is hard at 5 in the morning, alright? And make sure, you pay attention to the names, such as that right there, PR. And you actually, pay attention to where you're putting them. Make sure you don't accidentally put like your driver's side, like your rear driver's side door, in like your front passenger side door by accident. Just avoid things like that. Once you do that, you can go and export again. The file size should go up. So right now it's 1189. It should go up a bit, not too much. So let's see. It went down. I'm sure. I'm sure that's fine. Then you can go and just, load back into your game or your server if I can spell. And then I'll show you a way you can test that your collisions worked. welcome to my server. Oh, let's go, let me just go back to the scene. Group C, it's flat enough. Oh, there's that beautiful lag. Fan. There we go. Okay, that's what I mean by, I just noticed that. That's what I mean by, because I guess that the logos are using the same material that the tire is using, I guess. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look at that. But sometimes if like you just like if you have a logo on your tire and it's vehicle mesh and you don't see it, um uh huh. So, well, you can test that your collisions worked by shooting it, because by shooting it, bullet holes should appear in like the actual, the metal parts of the vehicle, of course. If you got lucky, your windows might break. At the most, at least it'll give us like the glass effect. That's something I've never been able to figure out, how to make the windows break properly, but yeah. I don't know what's going on with that though. Whether it's the doors not opening and stuff. That's not making any sense to me. But okay. Well, other than that not working, that's how you do a basic convert of a vehicle in ZModeler from GT4 to GT5. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in this video on the comment section. Don't expect a reply right away. I don't check it often. I recommend you join the Discord. And remember, don't ask to ask. Just ask. Just ask. Because it's better that you just ask so you can get an answer instead of saying, can I ask a question? So again, just don't ask to ask. We're not going to berate you unless it's a very stupid question. We're not going to berate you. Well, I'm not going to berate you at least. But yeah, join the Discord to ask questions here. Remember to ask for permission. And yeah, that's basically it. So y'all have a good one, and don't get hit by a bus.